Welcome back to Outside Views. Today's topic brings together two worlds that don't often intersect directly: Canadian politics and Britain's Brexit saga. Specifically, we'll explore how Canada's newly elected Prime Minister Marc Carney bears the battle scars of Brexit. Before we dive in, remember, as you're watching this, I'm undergoing my surgery and my hospital stay. So the upcoming videos, including today's, have been pre-recorded to ensure you continue to get detailed analysis while I'm away. So thank you sincerely for your ongoing support. And now let's examine how Brexit's shadow reaches all the way to Canadian leadership. Marc Carney's election as leader of Canada's Liberal Party and his forthcoming assumption of the Prime Minister's office marks a remarkable career pivot, from globally influential central banker to political leader of a G7 nation. Yet, beyond this notable economic credentials, Carney carries a unique political legacy from his tenure at the Bank of England, a legacy deeply marked by Brexit. Marc Carney's 7-year term as governor of the Bank of England from 2013 to 2020 positioned him squarely amid Britain's most turbulent modern political event. When he assumed office, few anticipated the historic chaos Brexit would unleash. Yet, Carney found himself navigating Britain's economic policy precisely during the critical Brexit period, from the initial referendum through tumultuous negotiations to Britain's eventual exit from the EU. Carney consistently highlighted what he saw as severe economic and financial risks associated with Brexit. His interventions intended to safeguard Britain's economic stability earned him respect among Remainers and considerable criticism from Brexiteers. Indeed, influential Brexit-supporting Conservatives, including Nigel Lawson, Margaret Thatcher's former Chancellor, called for Carney's resignation, accusing him of politicizing his role. But was Carney genuinely political or simply doing his duty as Britain's chief economic steward? Let's consider his actions in more detail. In January 2016, months before the historic Brexit referendum, Carney explicitly warned that leaving the EU represented the biggest domestic risk to financial stability for the UK. And such strong statements drew fierce criticism from Brexit proponents, who accused him of overstepping the traditional politically neutral boundaries of a central bank governor. Yet Carney insisted his comments were apolitical, grounded in careful economic analysis, and his duty to warn against substantial financial risks. Indeed, given the severe economic disruptions that followed Brexit, Carney's warnings appear, prescient rather than partisan. Adding fuel to the fire, Carney openly supported a deal secured by then Prime Minister David Cameron with the EU, intended to give Britain greater autonomy within the Union. Carney's praise for this agreement, describing it as reinforcing the positive impact of EU membership, sparked further controversy. His predecessor, Mervyn King, notably took a very different stance, dismissing Carney's concerns as exaggerated and even fear-mongering. King argued that the potential costs of a no-deal Brexit would be no worse than staying within the EU under existing conditions. Oh boy. This fundamental disagreement among top central bankers further polarized Britain's already fractured political discourse. Ultimately, Britain left the EU amid significant economic upheaval, a scenario Carney had explicitly warned against. And now, fast forward to Canada in 2025, Marc Carney, having returned home, suddenly finds himself elected leader of the Liberal Party, soon to become Prime Minister. But his British legacy still looms large. Intriguingly, Carney currently holds not only Canadian but also Irish and British citizenship. Yet, he has announced plans to renounce his European citizenships, likely to avoid political controversy regarding his loyalties. This symbolic gesture illustrates the continuing echoes of Brexit in his political narrative. But Carney's Canadian political career could be remarkably brief. By law, he must call a federal election within the year, putting him in direct competition with the Conservative Party leader Pierre, and here my French loses me, Poilievre, And Carney enters Canadian politics amid substantial turbulence. After nearly a decade of Liberal governance under Justin Trudeau, public dissatisfaction runs deep. And moreover, Carney himself is entirely new to electoral politics, not even a member of parliament. That's an extraordinarily rare situation for an incoming prime minister. Yet, despite these challenges, Carney's profile has received an unexpected boost from international developments, notably Donald Trump's recent threats toward Canada, inadvertently rallying support behind the Liberals. Still, Carney's Brexit experiences might offer critical lessons for his tenure as Canada's leader. He has first-hand experience with polarized political environments, economic upheaval, and the challenges of communicating nuanced policy amidst rampant misinformation. His leadership in Britain during Brexit has owned his ability to manage crises and communicate clearly, that skills he now brings to Canadian politics. However, critics question whether Carney's economic acumen alone is sufficient for success in Canada's politically charged environment. His opponents may paint him as aloof, technocratic, and disconnected from everyday Canadian concerns, focusing instead on his international background and elite credentials. Additionally, the irony isn't lost on observers. Carney, who passionately warned Britain of Brexit's economic pitfalls, now enters politics amid comparable populist tensions and economic anxieties in Canada. The upcoming election campaign will undoubtedly test Carney's ability to translate his high-level global expertise into compelling domestic policy proposals that resonate with voters. And meanwhile, Carney's Brexit baggage could be both asset and liability. His rigorous defense of economic stability might reassure centrist voters, yet his perceived role as a scaremonger among populist critics could hinder him in regions sympathetic to anti-establishment sentiments. In the end, Marc Carney's journey from Britain's Brexit battles to Canada's highest political office underscores the interconnectedness of today's global political landscape. His experiences managing economic crises and navigating political divisions provide valuable insights, yet the scars of Brexit remain clearly visible in his political profile. And it remains to be seen whether Canadians will embrace Carney as a stabilizing technocrat with unparalleled economic credentials, or dismiss him as another elite outsider disconnected from grassroots concerns. Regardless, Carney's appointment highlights Brexit's enduring ripple effects far beyond Britain's shores, influencing global political dynamics years after its completion. And that concludes today's detailed exploration, and I'll continue providing these insights throughout my recovery, so stay tuned for more pre-recorded episodes. Thank you once again for your support and understanding during my absence. And please remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. I greatly appreciate your perspectives. Until next time, stay informed and always keep looking beyond the headlines, and the next video is right here in the end screen.